Friday night, sushi's on the way. So I had the Chardonnays a few nights ago. Finished the one yesterday, the oakier one. I had the Au Bon Clement. But it's Friday night. I got some good sushi, some uni coming, some raw scallop. And I decided I'm going to open up a champagne, some bubbles. So champagne, from France, obviously. Champagne. So this is Pierre Peters. And this is a Grand Cru. So sort of the highest level. Well, Grand Cru, but it's not vintage champagne. So obviously Pierre Peters vintage champagne is like $160 of one I've never had and I really would like to try. I've always liked Pierre Peters. I feel like this producer of champagne is awesome. This champagne I used to get for $30-something, and I thought it was amazing for $30-something. Now it's $50. Is it amazing for $50? We'll have to see. And just remember, just in that 35 range, it was just one of the best for that price. At 50, to be determined. And there's a lot of champagne at that $50 price point. And I still prefer vintage champagne just because of the extra aging. There's just more character. There's more breadiness, a yeastiness. That was perfect open. Just a hiss and a kiss. But definitely a great alternative. Rather than a Veuve Clicquot or something else in the $50 range, if you see Pierre Peters, I think you're going to get something just a little bit better made. Blanc de Blancs, all Chardonnay here. I mean, great stream of bubbles here. Has that breadiness that I absolutely love about champagne. This yeasty breadiness. It's like when bread is baking, like that smell in the house. That's what I think champagne can do. Even vintage champagne can even do it even better. And I just love that aroma. There's like some tart fruit. So, some grapefruit, some lemon, some tartness to the aroma, but citrus. It's delicious. I love champagne. I love sparkling wine, but I like things like the Cremants made in the champagne style, where they're doing that dosage and the second fermentation in the bottle, not in a vat or something. So they just add more complexity. This is probably aged a little bit longer. This is just their house cuvee, so there's no year on it. So it's probably a mix of I forget if they mix vintages or whatever. So the gorgement date's 2020. So, but relatively fresh and delicious. Will go great with the sushi for sure. Like a Meyer lemon thing going on here. I always like when a white wine or sparkling wine has a Meyer lemon thing going on. Dragon fruit. Not dragon fruit. Star fruit. It's a star fruit component here. Good crisp acidity. It's good. It's really good. I don't know how to compare this to some of the other $50 ones. I drink a whole heck of a lot of $50 bottles of champagne. I have a vintage champagne in my fridge that I bought from Amontevino, which that's a 2012 or something, or 2014, and that was a good amount of money, $120. So that'll be awesome to try, and it's a producer I've never had or even heard of. So they would say go with grower champagnes, but not really sure. I do watch this one YouTube channel called Wine King, and I love it. Guys tasting wines. This guy Jay speaks like 8 different languages. I think he's Korean descent, and he has 2 friends, masters of wine. One guy with 25 years experience, the other guy 30, and Jay's a really good taster too. And they do wine videos, and they're awesome. But my favorite line, and I've said it now for a little bit, is, "May your only pain be champagne." And I don't know, I just like that as a motto. fits the whole wine theme. And better saying than actually being in pain, but I dig it, and I really, really like that channel. And I watch every new episode that comes out. They really get crass on some of the wines, especially. I mean, they use the word recipe winemaking. I've been using that same term. I didn't steal that one from them. This definitely stole them. Only pain be champagne. But I've said that's for a while. Like, I compared the bad wines that I think are bad, like Apothic and Yellowtail, to a recipe like Coke and Pepsi, and a brand and a similar taste profile year after year after year after year, no matter what the vintage is. So anyway, they have some terms that I fall in line with. Now, granted, they know wine way, way above me, but still one of the YouTube channels I pay attention to. So this will be awesome to have. Hopefully my sushi gets here soon. Definitely enjoyable. Alcohol on this thing doesn't taste. It's 12%, so it's in very good alcohol balance to acidity, to flavor, to body. It's not a big-bodied champagne. Oh, that sounds a little silly, but the vintage champagnes tend to have a little bit more body, more of that aging on their own yeast and their leaves there. So this is great. So some of the other sparklers out there. So I showed the Cremant a few days ago. The Cremant's one of the best budget sparkling type of wines you can buy. I know there's a sparkling wines out of California, and I've tried a number of them, and I think they're all okay. I just haven't found an amazing one yet, so I'm just not in love with them. There's one out of New Mexico called Gruit. I've had it once, I think, and I want to say it was really dry. There's Schramsberg. That one I know is out of California. That one's about $30. I guess that's decent. But I'd rather those $15 Cremants from Alsace or the Loire or Burgundy, especially since it can be made from Champagne, Chardonnay. Out of France, out of Italy, there's Franciacorta. You know, besides Prosecco, there's Franciacorta, which actually is made in the Champagne style. Prosecco, sort of bland and one-dimensional, great for mimosas, mixing. I haven't had the highest level of Prosecco. I'd like to, the DOCG one, and it's got a name that I cannot remember. They got Cava out of Spain, which has a unique profile. I think the good Cavas, I don't know if they're called Grand Reserve or something. Those are really good. The entry-level Cavas are okay. I know they're made in the Champagne style, but I feel like they just lack something. Maybe it's the grapes they use. They use Macabeo and... gosh, I forget the other grapes. There's, I think, two or three. Three, I think, in Spain. It's all eluding me now. The Pet Nats I really liked as a definitely a great sparkling thing, sparkling wine. I want to go to Wineworks and buy a whole bunch of them soon. I think some other sparklers that are out there. I think I talked about the sparkling Shiraz out of Australia, the red one. I haven't had that. I don't think I've ever had a sparkler out of Australia. Yeah, mostly stick to the Cremant. I used to have some Prosecco's, not really. Obviously Champagne. I think you got to spend some money to get, talking $50, $40-50 to get some good ones. So the Cremant's in the 15 range. Maybe I'll try more of the American ones. If I see a good Cava, I'll try some more Cavas, but they're normally okay. I prefer them over Prosecco. But creme de la creme being the vintage champagnes, you're going to pay for it 100 plus, easy. And they're definitely special occasion and great wines. But I drink mostly sparkling water, Pellegrino, especially like that little bit of sodium in there just adds something to it. Just tastes better than Perrier or any of the other ones that just don't have that little bit of sodium. It's not a lot, very little, 10 milligrams, but just makes Pellegrino taste just that much better. So, Friday night, waiting for that sushi, babbling along, turning a 4-minute video into now 10 minutes. I'll go put this back in the fridge until my sushi gets here. Try it with the sushi. What would I grade this out of 5? So I use Vivino, the app. It's out of 5 stars, which I think is great. And I'm very liberal. I'll give things 5. If I'm in the right mindset and I think the wine's awesome, I don't even care the price. 5 stars. Boom. I used to be a little more critical about that stuff, but you don't need to be. Just go with it. 1 is near undrinkable or just disgusting. 2 is just bad wine. 3, average. 4, I think, is really good. And then 5 is just great. You know, that's how I go with it. 5 can just be great. 4.5 to 5 is great. Especially in that category. If that category of wine that I'm having is, you know. So what would I give this? This is probably 4.5. 4.5 out of 5. It's great. It's going to go probably really, really well with the sushi. So whatever that tells you. So I don't need to get crazy and critical about, is this a 92 or 93? I mean, what's a 92? What's a 93? I get that that's the scoring system. Everyone's like 89 versus 90. I know that's like this big thing. Oh, 90 plus points, 95 plus points. Those wines get 95 plus, prices go up, demand goes up. 90 and above is a big threshold. I'm talking about the Robert Parker scores. Then you get an 89. It's like, oh, I can't have that. It's an 89. What's an 89, 90? What's a 91, 92? What's a 95, 97? I mean, it's just nuts. You see hundreds, though. You didn't used to see hundreds. Now you see hundreds. It's mostly Bordeaux and probably, mostly Bordeaux and great vintages from the great houses and expensive. So I have a 100-point wine here, a 2009 Pontet Canet. It's a Bordeaux from Pauillac, Left Bank. One of my favorite producers in, I don't know if I've ever spoken about, oh yeah, I did speak about Pontet Canet. So one of my favorite producers, and now the prices have gone up. They used to be $40. I felt like a great undervalued fifth growth, so with the growth system, but great wine. Wow, I am not talking about Bordeaux when I had a champagne tasting. This is just silly. Anyway, let's cut it here. Cheers, and have a good night.